Hi there, and welcome back to the Message Marketing Pod. I'm your host, Christopher Melotti from Melotti Media, and this is episode 121, Selling the Invisible, the reasons why you may be struggling to sell your service and how to fix that. So, if you've got a service-based business or you're thinking about starting up a service-based business, then I shouldn't have to tell you that selling a service is very different from selling products. You probably understand the difference. I mean, if you haven't, then if you haven't thought about it, then let's go through it quickly. When you've got a product, it's much easier to sell because there's a tangibility to it. For instance, if you're shopping for a new vacuum cleaner, it's easy to compare the features and find one that meets your needs. For instance, you can check out the bag size or cords, or if it's wireless or battery life or weight and dimensions, all of that kind of things, right? And the other advantage is that most products, people understand what they are. Right? So even though there's 100,000 different types of shoes out on the market, people understand what a shoe is, right? Or a glove, or a piece of clothing, or a hat. People know what basic products are. Whereas a service, even though there's some underlying uniformity there to an extent, it can vary a lot. For instance, think about a cleaning service. If you want a cleaning service to come and clean your house for you instead of buying a vacuum cleaner, then chances are you'll reach out to a couple of providers and they'll all tell you that they can do it. But you really don't know the difference other than what they're saying. It's same with, for example, a financial advisor or a marketing service or an agency or a lawyer, a legal firm. All of those offer services and they can say that the basic stuff, but in the end, there's so much variability with the service. So how do you sell a service effectively? And what it comes down to is three different aspects. One, you have to sell yourself. Two, you have to sell your expertise or your team's expertise. And number three is that you need to sell the value that your company offers a client or customer. So this can be tricky. So there are a couple of challenges that come with this. So let's talk about the challenges first, and then we can delve into the solutions. So first and foremost, why is selling a service difficult? Well, at the heart of it, the main difference is that, as I said, a product business sells a physical, tangible object, whereas a service business provides value through intangible skills, expertise, resources, labor, and time. So typically, selling your service requires the building of trust or trusting relationships with an audience in order for them to make a decision. So the challenge of selling a service is knowing how to communicate the value of what you're offering in a way that resonates with your target customers. And so this is what it comes down to: is the common challenge that service-based businesses have when selling a service is that they might be, for instance, selling the wrong service. So like they've got an idea of what their service should be, and then they fail to actually do the market analysis and research, and they've actually found that the service that they're offering is slightly different to what they actually need to sell. And this is very, very common. So the tip is, do your research, really listen to your customers and understand and appreciate what they're actually looking for, because chances are, even if you had a service in mind, you can actually evolve it to be more customer centric. For instance, when Melotti Media started, we were a basic copywriting agency, right? We just did the basic brief in, blog out. But today, we've listened to our customers and we've looked for gaps in the market, and we've evolved our service according to what customers and clients are actually asking for. So that's really important. Another common challenge is that you're not defining the value for your customers and articulating it in a way. And now, this is the biggest challenge I see. As a marketing consultant, so many businesses out there come to me, or I've seen them in the market, and what they have found is that they know their service back to front, left to right, up and down, but they can't get it across to their customers very well. And this is a really big challenge, is if you're selling a service in particular, you need to be able to explain that fast and in a relevant way. So I always say it's like a Venn diagram. Think of two discs that intersect or overlap each other, right? On the left is your brand or business or service, and on the right is your customer's need. Where they overlap is what your service needs to be. And so are you able to explain it to them in a relevant way? And that's the challenge, is that customers go about their days, and people go about their days every day, and they're focused on their own pain points and problems and challenges. And the issue is that a lot of service-based businesses fail to explain why customers should pay attention and why this service solves their needs. So we see it all the time. Like you might have, for instance, a finance provider who has a great service for a business in order to help them, be more responsible around their tax or their BAS or something around what they do. But the business or the business owner or management team don't understand that. And so therefore they don't go ahead because they can't understand the value that it offers, even though it would be advantageous to go ahead. Another example is buyer's agents. When you're looking for property, having a buyer's agent by your side can help you. But unfortunately, a lot of them struggle to articulate what they actually do in a relevant way to clients. And so most people overlook their service. Whereas when I chose a buyer's agent, the buyer's agent was saying, we will save you hundreds of hours of work and we will save you all of that buyer's fatigue and we will bid for you in an auction without getting emotional so that we can make sure that you make the right decisions. And suddenly I was going, oh, that sounds relevant to me. So that's really important, is that you must be able to articulate your value of the service that you're providing in a relevant way that's customer centric. Another typical challenge is that you're looking for the immediate transaction rather than building a relevant audience and building trust. And that's the hardest thing. With a service business, if you're offering services, you must get out there and become a key opinion leader in your industry. When you're a key opinion leader and you're sharing blogs and articles and videos and things like that, it's much easier to choose your service because you have a credibility around there. So what evidence points are you providing around your service that gets people to go, oh, I would choose that person to deliver the service? Okay, or this team has a great reputation because I've seen them in the market. I don't need to guess their service value because I've already seen it around. Okay, so when your business or brand is an expert in your service space, then it's much easier to choose you. So with all those challenges in mind, let's think about 4 easy ways to help you sell your service better. Number 1 is be the product. If you're running a service-based business, you and your team are essentially the quote-unquote product. This means you need to sell yourself as much as you're selling your service. So you've seen all those websites that say, oh, we have credibility and we help with trust and all of that. That's what they're getting at here. If you want people to become clients and convert into clients, then you have to get them to view you as someone who is reliable and trustworthy. People buy from those who they expect that they can trust. So before trying to sell your service, develop those relationships first. The better you are at building rapport, the more that you will increase the chances of closing more deals. Number 2 is stop charging per hour and start charging per project. Charging an hourly rate isn't sustainable in the long run, okay? Because you can only work so many hours, or your team can only work so many hours. And it can be hard to get out of this rut because the only way you have to change things is to increase your rates and risk losing clients. And this is the problem. So what I always suggest is, now every business is different, but if you're selling a service and you deliver it per hour, or you say, oh, this is how much it costs per hour. Essentially what you're doing is you're forcing yourself and your client to reverse engineer how much value you're providing. So for instance, if they say, create my website, and you say, oh, that will take 5 hours and I charge this much per hour, they can then come back and say, oh, I think you can do it in 4 hours, okay? Whereas what you should be doing, and what's a more effective way, is when you've got a service, is selling the value of the service itself. So you say, to deliver a website, it's this much, not hours, but it will cost this much. And that's how you can increase the value. Number 3, most importantly, is use social proof. Remember, people need to choose when they want to choose your service, they need evidence in order to choose you. So as you're selling something intangible, give them lots and lots of evidence, good case studies, right? Give them a way to be able to see what you do. Like testimonials are another great way to use social proof. Be out there and get Google rating and Facebook ratings and all these kind of things, because case studies, client testimonials, all of those kind of things show people what you do. Be active on your social media as well, so that people can actually see your team in action. And number 4, last but not least, is build a brand that differentiates your business. A strong brand behind a service is critical to the success of any service-based business, because again, your prospects can't actually see your offering. So they need something to cling on to or connect on a deeper level. And that's what a strong brand can do for a business. Your brand is what will distinguish you from your competition, and it gives prospects a reason to choose you and understand you and identify you. So if you have a service-based business, invest in your brand and your messaging and the way that you articulate yourself, because that is what is going to help you sell your service. People will understand you more, they will see you more, they will trust you more. Okay? And that is how Malotti Media can help you, is we work with a lot of service-based businesses like yours to help you with all of that above. So if you're struggling to either get your service sold or you can't articulate what it is in a relevant way to customers and prospects, then that is how we can help you. Contact us at Malotti Media. You can visit our website, malottimedia.com.au, or email us at enquire, ENQUIRE, at malottimedia.com.au, and we can gladly walk you through how we can help your service-based business exceed and excel in today's very busy and competitive market. So if you are selling a service and you need help, contact us. We'd love to chat. So thank you for joining me in this episode of the Message Marketing Pod. I'm your host, Christopher Malotti from Malotti Media, and I look forward to speaking with you again. Thank you.